Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about The Last Ship, Season 2, Episode 1 and 2 on the Real City and Fight the Ship. So this piggybacks exactly where the last season left off at. And you can actually get this now on DVD a little bit cheaper now on eBay. I found one that's about like $30. That's about as cheap as you can get the entire series. Other than that, it's gonna be around $80 to $100 and stuff. And so everything is gone crazy. Mrs. Garrison has taken over the United States, and she's doing a whole lot of shady stuff, which people on the Nathan Jones are just now starting to find out. Chandler, he was unable to save his wife. He has his kid and father. And so him and the other officers, they realize what Garrison is doing. She's burning dead bodies to like keep the power grid on and stuff. That is disgusting. And so they have to like take her down and also get back to Nathan James, which is now completely under siege. A couple of other officers are dead. And so the doctor, he is able to like hide like, the cure and everything so that they can get their hands on it. And so like as the XO is about to be shot, Quincy jumps in front of him doing his last heroic thing after what he did all in season 1. And so they have to try to keep him alive. Well, the police officers are being extremely rude. They like make everybody go down below and into like the mess hall. And so when they start to use Quincy's family as like leverage and everything, he just like, decides he's not going to risk his family's life, and he lets himself bleed out and he dies. So he finally gets his comeuppance from last season. So like as some of the people are being like taken away, O'Connor is able to like jump overboard and stuff, right? And when he gets back on the ship, he like messes up with the thermostat. So like, the chief engineer dude, it's all like, he has to fix it, this and that. So they're doing their best, like, to get out of that situation. So like a few of them are able to like to sneak off and head to the armory while the XO was locked in like, the captain's quarters. And he is able to get out and get to like the security cameras, and they use Morse code to like relay like messages for each other because they realize that he can see them on the security cameras. Once they get to the armory, they like head back to the mess hall and they free their people, only to have a huge like shootout and stuff. And so like while that's going on, over in the city, like Alyssa, she's pissed at her mom and everything. And her mom is all like, she's doing this for the greater good of America, and she wants the brightest of the bright. So, like, she's not giving people the real cure. She's giving them like a placebo and only giving the real cure to people who she feel are like top notch, like smart people. And so Rachel needs to like buy some time and everything, because she realizes not everybody shares like Amy's vision and stuff. And so she goes out to the city and she gives out the cure and stuff. But it's like she's starting to run out. Well, Chandler, he leaves the chief petty officer, Jeter, with his like family, right? And so one of the kids, I think the boy, is having like a bad reaction to the cure. And so his daughter is getting like irritated and wants to like leave the house that they're staying in. But Jeter goes out and he gets some like, medicine and stuff. But he's seen by some people. So the grandfather has to have like a shootout with the people trying to like break into like the house. And so Tech, he realizes, things are getting kind of crazy, and he meets like a boy on the street, right? And so like he heads back so he can save Rachel. And you gotta admit how crazy this all is, man. It's like they went through this like super virus, and then all of a sudden there are like shady people within the government who are trying to make a new world order and stuff. And they always do the whole thing. They want the best of the best, the smartest of the people. And they just let like the ordinary people die. And that's why all the sick people are like now on the streets and stuff. And so this is what that one dude was trying to prevent. Think like we used to think like the warlord dude. We thought he was like, the bad guy, but he's actually the good guy and stuff. And so eventually Chandler, him and Danny, they head to like the power grid place, right? They hide amongst the dead bodies. Boy, they do what they gotta do. Then as soon as they get out, it's like a nice little shootout and everything. And then he leaves Danny there. And so then he heads to like, stop Garrison and stuff. And so, like with the the cure like being hidden and stuff, Garrison people are like patients are running thin, and so they getting very agitated and they are pissed. And then they realize something. They look at all the medical records that Kara, she is pregnant, which means her child has the antibodies. So they just snatch her up and they take her to the hospital and they plan on like, ripping that child out. They plan, I think they're going to rip the child out her body, which is, these people are nuts, man. It's like, and they are cruel, and it is a scary moment. She's like laying on the gurney bed. She's gagged. They have a giant needle and stuff they're gonna push in her stomach because they're trying to find the baby. And then as soon as they're about to do that, Danny like shoots the power grid up, and so all the power goes out. And in the nick of time, they're all like, well, get a flashlight. We're still getting this baby and everything. I'm like, holy crap. They are literally gonna like rip that baby from her stomach. And there's nothing she can do because she's strapped to the bed. And then a nurse, as nice as she was able to help free Kara's hand. Kara takes that giant syringe and she stabs it in that doctor's heart. By that time, Rachel and Ted are able to rescue Kara and stuff. And then this is when like Chandler and the resistance bust into like the building. So it's like a huge shootout and they're trying to like find everybody and get everybody out. And so Alyssa, she takes off running at this point in time while Garrison is trying to get like, all the brightest of the bright people, the young people out and stuff. And so when one of her guards tries to stop Alyssa, they have like a fight. But then Alyssa ends up getting shot by mistake. And the guard's like, oh crap, dude. She just like takes off running while Alyssa is laying there in her own pool of blood. But then she is found by like the other soldiers and stuff. And so, like, as the crew, the Nathan Jones, are trying to like recapture the ship and everything, man, it is a huge shootout. Like, there's some like choppers coming in, and O'Connor, he gets like that giant big gun, and he's like, so Thorward and everything, he has an exchange with Amy. Now, he was supposed to originally play the XO, but like a scheduling conflict came up and stuff. Well, he ends up getting shot by one of her men and ends up dying. And, it does make you wonder, how did like Amy think she was gonna get away with all this and think her daughter would be cool with all this stuff? Like, I get you want the brightest of the bright, but other people like matter too. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem with all these people, especially like all these politician type people. They only think that only like the high society or the most intelligent people only matter. But they forget about the little people, The little people help make the country run as well and help makes the world go round, you know what I'm saying? And like, so I'm trying to think, what is it? And so she gets on like the intercom with, or the walkie-talkie, to talk to like the power grid people, right? And of course, only Danny's there, and he's like sassing her, pissing her off and stuff. But then she ends up getting pissed and sends a bunch of her like men over there. So Danny is the only person there, and it's like a huge shootout. But he's running out of ammo. So Chandler orders him to get out of there. So he throws like a flash grenade and everything, and he hightails it on out of there. And I always liked the Danny character. He's like really cool and stuff. And so like the XO and Nathan James, like, he's finally got found out by this one police officer he really can't stand. And the one that's kind of like in charge and stuff. So they have it out like big time, and they're just like scuffing with each other. And so the XO, he tried to grab an axe earlier in the episode, but was unable to. Well, he grabbed it this time and put it dead into either the chest or back of that officer and stuff. And so, like, trying to think if I'm forgetting about it. So let's see. They got Alicia out of there, or Alyssa out of there, and so they got Car out, and so now Chandler, he's heading to the roof because that's where Amy's going, and she's trying to get on out of there with a helicopter and stuff. But he basically tells her, your new world order has come to an end, and like either you can be arrested and go to court and like and be judged by your peers, or you can basically get 6 feet under right here, right now, because you're finna have a funeral. He is not playing with that big old machine gun in his head and stuff. So the two guards that's with her, they like, stand down. But she's pissed and she's just ordering them like to kill him. But they won't do it because they realize, what she's doing is wrong. Burning the bodies and all this other stuff. And she's talking about like, when the world went under and everything, I held everything together, and all the fires in the street and all the other stuff. And she tried to bring like order to chaos and everything. But she's delusional in the head. And so she's giving this huge like speech and everything, and talking about how she had the doctor whip her up a cocktail, and it'll be like quick and like painless and stuff. And next thing you know, she injects herself in the neck, committing suicide and stuff. And I'm just like, holy crap. And that's how these people always do it, man. They act like they're so big and bad, but then when like they're between like a rock and a hard place, they take themselves out, And so like, because of this now, the Nathan James has now like saved the city and basically saved like America, because she was gonna go to other places and take them out as well. And so like Chandler's family, they go on board with him on the Nathan James. Not sure they're gonna stay there or not. I have to watch the rest of the season. And Tech is helping out, and there's a bunch of people wounded, and they lost about like half a dozen, maybe a dozen of their officers and stuff, due to like the police officer just like gunning them down. And this is what Chandler hates. He hates losing people, and he makes a vow, in the past to never lose people again. And this was a crazy action-packed episode. Like, I could not believe what all I watched. I couldn't believe that the police officers, along with Granderson, tried to take over like America and try to take over the Nathan James. Because the Nathan James is literally the last naval ship in like America because of that super virus. I couldn't believe that when they tried to get the antibodies, the cure from like, Car, they literally just snatched up as she's screaming and like hollering and stuff. And it was like something out of like a slasher movie when she was on that gurney bed and they had her like strapped down and they just like doing the ultrasound trying to find that baby and stuff. And and then, oh my God, dude, all that action was so good and stuff, because I liked how they choreographed like a lot of their shootout scenes and a lot of their action scenes, it looks pretty heavy duty and looks like something you will probably see if you were like probably like on the force or like the military, something like that. Because back in the old days when they used to have like shootouts, it was kind of lame and boring. But now they're really trying to up their game and try to make it visually like appealing and stuff, you know? And so it always cracks me out how this ragtag team of like a small team of people are able to take out like 20 some people and crap. And so like now that they have like the cure and everything, because you know the doc, you know, he hid it and kept it safe and everything. And so now they're able to give out the real cure so that the American people can live again. But of course, there are going to be other problems. This show lasted for like 5 seasons, so there's other problems they're going to have to go through. Like the virus is going to mutate and everything in another season. And so, like, you know, this season, I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. I can't wait till my DVD gets here because I don't have Hulu no more. Because that's the only like app that is on. And boy, Chandler's speech at the end, you can either face your peers or have a funeral. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.